Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to our revision class. This is part 2 of control and coordination. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the vertebrate systems. It included CNS and the PNS. CNS is nothing but the central nervous system, whereas PNS is nothing but the peripheral nervous systems. With this, we are going to discuss about some function related to brain. So, dear students, we will discuss that which type of question can be asked for the examination. With this we have to revise the whole thing, so be ready with today's class. So dear students, as you can see in this pic, vertebrate nervous system. Vertebrate nervous system is nothing but it is composed of two main components. What are those two main components? It is nothing but the central nervous system, CNS. It includes its brain and spinal cord. In last class, that is yesterday, we have discussed with the spinal cord, and today we are going to discuss with brain. So central nervous system, it includes brain and the spinal cord, whereas the peripheral nervous system, it includes cranial, spinal and visceral nervous. For communication between CNS and the other parts of the body, peripheral nervous systems plays an important role. So these are the some highlighted points which we have to covered for this particular chapter. So again I am going to repeat, vertebrate system, it is composed of two main components, that is CNS and the PNS. CNS includes brain and spinal cord, whereas the peripheral nervous system, it includes cranial, spinal, visceral nervous system. And for communication between CNS and other parts of the body, it plays an important role. So dear students, this is the basic information about the vertebrate nervous system. Let's discuss with the CNS and PNS. So dear students, as you can see that it is one of the part of human brain, and protective features of CNS, that is central nervous system. So brain is protected by the bony part, that is the cranium. So the brain is composed, or it is protected by the bony part. Bony means bone part, that is nothing but the cranium, and it is covered by three members called menses. So dear students, one marks question can be asked that what is menses? Menses is nothing but it is covered by three membranes, means brain is covered by the three membrane called menses, and the space between menses is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. It protects brain from the mechanical shocks. What do you mean by the mechanical shocks? Due to the help of cerebral spinal fluid, if such type of inconvenience, if such type of mis uh, miss things has happened in our brain, it can be protected by the mechanical, it can be protected by the benzines. Okay, benzines is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. The one marks question can be asked that due to which fluid the brain can be protected from the mechanical shocks. So at that time the answer is cerebrospinal fluid, which is present in the menses. Menses are cerebrospinal fluid covers spinal cord too. So menses is covering the brain as well as the spinal cord too. So here what is the role of menses? That it should be protect from the mechanical shocks. The menses work is nothing but it's filled with the cerebrospinal fluid, which is protects brain from the mechanical shocks, as well as it should be protect the spinal cord too. Spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. The spinal cord is protected by vertebral column. So this is the typical structure of the human brain. In class itself already we have discussed that in the easy manner how we can draw the human brain and the parts of the human brain. So I hope there is no inconvenience to drawing the brain. So dear students, the brain concept, only for drawing the brain itself, the 3 marks or 4 marks question can be asked that label the diagram of human brain, and you have to show some parts of the human brain. They will give you like a cerebrum, some such type of question can be asked. So be ready. You have to know that which should be part of the brain is existing in the which part of the brain. So these are the aspects questions from the previous papers. So dear students, though it is protective features of central nervous system is nothing but the brain is protected by the bony cranium. It means the protection of the brain. It is the main feature of the central nervous system. It is covered by three membranes called as the menses. Space between the menses is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. It is protecting the mechanical shocks from it is protecting the brain from the mechanical shocks, as well as it is protecting the spinal cord too from the mechanical shocks or any kind of the inconvenience. And spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. So this is the small information related to the central nervous system. Then what about the peripheral nervous system? Peripheral nervous system is composed of cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. So what do you mean by the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves? These are the present in our body in the form of pairs. Pairs means two. It is the composed of two things. Okay. So peripheral nervous system is composed of cranial nervous and the spinal nervous, where 12 pairs of the cranial nerves comes out of the brain and cover the organs in head. So dear students, here the question can be asked that how many pairs are present in the cranial nervous system which is protecting or covering the brain part. So here the answer is 12 pairs. The question can be asked in the form of multiple choice. Okay, so how many pairs are protecting our human brain? It is 12 pair of cranial nerves comes out of the brain and covering the organs in head, whereas the 31 pair of spinal nerves comes out of the spinal cord and covers all the organs below head region. So dear students, the question asked for 1 marks. How many pairs are protecting the brain and how many pairs are protecting the spinal cord? So you have to differentiate between these two things. 12 pair of cranial nervous system comes out of the brain and covers the organs in a head, whereas 31 pairs of spinal nerves comes out of spinal cord and covers all the organs below head region. Not is the above head region, it is the below head region. So dear students, you have to differentiate these two things, that peripheral nervous system is composing of how many nerves? Cranial nervous system and the spinal nervous system. Cranial is protecting, or it is comes from the for protecting the brain, whereas the spinal it is related to the spinal cord. So spinal is helping to the spinal itself. So 31 pair of spinal nerves comes out of the spinal cord and cover all the organs below head region. So you have to make a key points that how many pairs are protecting the cranial nervous system, brain. So here 12 pairs of cranial nerves which is protecting the brain, whereas the 31 pair of spinal nerves comes out of the spinal cord is protecting the organs below head region. So these are the key points related to the peripheral nervous system. So dear students, here we are going to discuss about the structure of brain. Before that, already we have discussed some short information related to the vertebrate system as well as the cranial nervous system and the spinal nervous system. So already we have discussed, make the key points and take a revision of all those things because it is very important. Already in yesterday's class I have discussed that the question can be arise 8 marks from this particular concept. So you have to be prepared each and every corner of this concept. So dear students, the structure of brain is the highest coordinating center. Yes, any command it should be given to all the muscles or anything we have to do in our day-to-day life. So always we are taking the help of the brain. Yes, so brain is the highest coordinating system. When we are conducting this control and coordination concept, the main question, the main aspects which we have to learn, that is nothing but the brain itself. So, brain is the highest coordinating center. It is protected by the cranium. Cranium is the nothing but the protective bones which is protecting the brain. Is it? So, it is protected by the cranium. So, here, dear students, the question can be asked, what is the cranium part? Cranium is the protective bone part which is protecting the brain organ, and it is covered by three membrane. Space between the membrane is called as the meninges, and meninges is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. So these are the basic information. When the question can be asked that describe the structure of brain, first 3 points you have to write in this manner. That first one is the brain is the highest coordinating center. It is protected by the cranium part. It is covered by three membranes. Space between membranes, it is called as the meninges. Meninges is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. So let's discuss about that how the brain is divided into three major parts, that is the forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain. So here the particular structure of brain. So if you are taking the key points in this manner, it will be help you to remember the points. Okay. So first thing, how we have to divide it into three concepts. First thing, you have to divide it into forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain. Okay. So what is the main concept we have to clarify here, that forebrain is consisting cerebrum and the olfactory lobe, whereas the midbrain is connects forebrain and hindbrain. Yes, it is existing in the mid part, then it should be connecting with the forebrain and the hindbrain, because it is the medium part of the brain. So midbrain is nothing but that is connected forebrain and the hindbrain and controls reflex involving eyes and ears. How we are blinking our eyes now, it is controlled by the midbrain. Blinking of eyes means you just try at your home itself that how we can realize this thing. So it is controlling by the reflex involving eyes and the ears, whereas the hindbrain is consisting cerebellum, pons and the medulla oblongata. Okay. So let's discuss that how we are going to draw. Already we have done that how we can draw this concept. So while remembering the key points, first you have to divide the brain into three parts. First one is the forebrain, which is existing in the above part of the brain. So you can see here cerebrum. Okay. So it is the white region is nothing but the forebrain, and forebrain is consisting cerebrum and the olfactory lobe, whereas the midbrain is existing in the middle part of the brain. So here in the pink color itself you might be seeing the midbrain. Midbrain is connecting or connects the forebrain and the hindbrain, controls reflex involving eyes and ears. So here, dear students, the question can be asked that what is the function of midbrain? So it is connecting forebrain and the hindbrain, whereas the controlling the reflex involving eyes and ears. So last part, that is the forebrain, midbrain and the last step of the brain or last part of the brain which is existing in the below the brain, that is nothing but the it consisting cerebrum, pons and the medulla oblongata. So here the yellow color and the little bit pinkish color, not a fully pink, it consisting mons and the medulla oblongata. So you might be seen here. Yes. So hindbrain is consisting cerebellum, pons and the medulla oblongata. So these key points you have to remember. The question can be asked, draw the human diagram and mention the parts. So at that time at least you have to remember that which part is existing in a which part. Yes, if suppose the question can be asked, draw the diagram and the human brain and show the cerebrum part. So you have to know that cerebrum part is consisting or it is existing in the forebrain part. If suppose the question can be asked that cerebellum, cerebellum is existing in which part of the brain? It is existing in the hindbrain. So at this situation you have to clarify and you have to make the points in this way, so it will be better for you while taking the revision of all the concepts. Is it okay? Yes, it is very good to understand the concept. So be prepared and make a note. So dear students, here are some functions of brains. So first we have made a column about the cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus, cerebellum, pons and medulla oblongata. So here dear students, the cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus, these are the main aspects. Each and every function they have described in a detailed manner, so it is very easy to understand, because while taking the revision you can't go for the whole chapter. You have to make a short notes to remember the points. So at that situation this column is going to help you while taking the revision. So what is the function of the cerebellum means? First one is the main thinking part of the brain. So the question can be asked that what is the main thinking part of the brain? It is nothing but the cerebellum, and it is responsible for reasoning, speech, intelligence, hearing and usage of information. So if the person or a human being speaking nicely, or it have the ability to express himself in a very nice manner, and his as well as his IQ level is very good, so this all situation, this all the aspects is controlling by the cerebrum part. Yes, so what is the main function of the cerebrum part? It is nothing but the main thinking part of the brain, whereas the responsible for reasoning, speech, intelligence, hearing is controlled by the cerebrum part. So what is the function of the thalamus? Thalamus is nothing but to send the sensory information to the cerebrum. If suppose thalamus is getting any information from any part of the body, and this, what is the function of the thalamus? It sends the sensory information. If something has happened in the human body, so yeah, I have to send this information to human brain. So what is the which part is helping here? It is nothing but the thalamus part. So thalamus is sending the sensory information to the which part? Cerebellum. Students, next concept is a hypothalamus. What is the work of, or what is the function of hypothalamus? That is, controls body temperature in our body, maintaining water balance, controls usages of eating and drinking, and controls pituitary gland. So when we are going to start with the hormones concept, we will learn about the pituitary gland. So here the main function of the hypothalamus is controls body temperature, maintaining the water balance in our body, and as well as controls argue of eating and drinking. No, yeah, that much is enough, I don't want to eat more this food, or yes, that much is enough water in our body. So this is all things are going to be done by hypothalamus. So what is the function of the cerebellum? Cerebellum is controls and coordinates different muscular actions, maintaining the posture and the equilibrium of the body during various activities such as walking, drinking and the riding. Yeah, so the maintaining balance in our body. So what is the main function of the cerebellum means? It's control and coordinates. So when we are going, yeah, I have to take a left side, I have to go to the right side. So these all things are going to be coordinated by the cerebellum part of the human body. So what is the function of the pons? Pons is nothing but the controls breathing rate. Okay, so dear students, here for understanding this concept you might be know the difference between the voluntary action and the involuntary action. So already what I have told you in next as last class, that you have to make the differentiation between the voluntary action and the involuntary action. In the voluntary action what happens, we are thinking all the things, yeah, I have to do this same thing, or I have to yes, it is good for me, it is bad for me. So these all the thinking are done by the voluntary actions. What do you mean by involuntary actions? It is not capable to control by the human brain. Like suppose what happen, if we can't check our body temperature, we can't count our uh, Yes, we can't count our human beats. So what happened, it is not controlled by our body, it is involuntary action. So in this situation what happens, the pons, it controls the breathing rate, so controls facial expression, mastication of food. So these all our functions are done by the pons. What is the function of the medulla oblongata? It controls involuntary actions such as a breathing, blood pressure, movement of alimentary canal, regulates reflex response like salivation and the vomiting. So dear students, when you are going for the revision concept, don't go for the whole part. Always I told you, make a key point. So just better whatever I have discussed in this table, make a table nicely and take a revision of the functions of the brain, because sometimes what happen, the question can be asked not only for the diagram, but the question can be asked that define the following, or what are the function of this brain. So like they will give you the concept of cerebellum or cerebellum or medulla oblongata, what is the function of the hypothalamus. So these things you must to know that what are the function of this each and every part of the human brain. So dear students, for today's class that much information is enough for you. Take a revision of all those things what I have discussed in the today's class. Take a help of textbook, and afterwards I will send you worksheets, so complete in and send it to me. If you are finding any inconvenience related to this concept, you can just contact me, no problem. Okay, I'm always ready with you. Okay, so dear students, have a nice day. Bye bye.